Hey guys, let's talk about microphone placement and reducing hum when you are recording. So the way I do it is first I pick my instrument. Today I'm using my Strat, which has recently been upgraded with these beautiful locking tuners and string tree, new string tree. Um, so what I do is I take my cable that I'm going to use for my guitar. So you can see my cable is not very long. It's about 10 feet long, right? So I have a very small space to record in. And so it's really hard to get all the noise, all the stuff that creates noise away from each other so that I'm not constantly, every time I play the guitar, like constantly bumping into some, electrical field and generating hum. So the way I do it the best I can is I plug in my amp, turn it up to the volume that I'm going to be actually playing at, and then I take my guitar cord and without even plugging it into the guitar, you could just plug it into the guitar, set it to the bridge pickup, and then start pointing your guitar places. But this is a whole lot easier and more accurate for some things. What I end up doing is I just start looking for things that might cause noise. So basically anything that's running on electricity or has electricity running through it. So my MPC. So right now, relatively, it's relatively silent in here. You listen for a second. Silence. Okay. Now listen when I get over here. Okay, and that was me touching rubber. I only you don't have to even touch things. You could hear it without having to touch the cord to the things. I'm only doing that so that the camera will pick up the noise, so you could hear it loud enough. So, so my MPC is generating noise. Obviously, the cable coming out of it, plugging into my computer is generating noise. The computer itself, big noise generator. What else? This thin wire which goes to my headphones, generates noise. This USB cable, which goes to my interface, which I've sort of hacked. It's a one-channel interface, but I've sort of hacked it so that it'll take two inputs at once. I have a condenser mic in back of the amp. It's an open back amp, and then a what's it called? A dynamic mic in front of the amp, miking up the speaker. So I have the condenser mic where I want it. I usually don't move the condenser mic, but I do move the dynamic mic. And it's really important when I record to make sure there's as little feedback as possible when I'm doing that. So this is the cord for my condenser, microphone 2, and that runs along here, runs alongside my amp, goes behind it. It's this amp stand right here, goes right behind there. And then there's mic 1, which is this XLR cable right here, and if you follow its path, it runs underneath the amp, and it comes out over here. Comes out over here, and if I just go near here, I'm generating some noise. Right? Okay. So, and then the most obvious thing to do is to check your pedals. Make sure your pedals are are getting electricity, that they're isolated first of all, and that they're not generating noise on you. So I just go ahead and run this over these guys, and surprisingly, little to no noise at all going through these guys. I have almost no noise in my pedals. you might hear the hiss becoming louder, but that's just because the camera is closer to the amp. Yeah, like no humming or hissing or anything over here. It's the strangest thing. Oh, there we go. If I touch the metal to this thing, to the switch here, yeah. But otherwise, no. Nope. We're good. All these wires over here, no hum. Like, we're all good over here. So, okay, so I know my pedals aren't going to generate noise. It's the other stuff in the room that I have to worry about. Microphones, mixers and interfaces, MPCs, the computer, and even your studio headphones. Those things are all generating noise. So what do? You move them as far away from each other as you can. Then, once you've got that, what I've done, and I've already done this, is hopefully you have a looper pedal at home. Now that you have all the hum and noise out of the way, you can start playing. But how do you know how to properly position your mic, right? So this was how I had it positioned the last time I was recording, but that position may not be good for what I'm going to record today. So what I did was I took my looper pedal and I recorded 3 different loops, and each of those loops corresponded to sort of the style and the sound of the music that I was going to be recording. So you don't have to, like, be good, right? It's not about getting the chords right and stuff. It's just record the loop and then have the amp play back what you recorded. So I have 3 loops here, and I'll let you listen to them. And the idea is, what you do is you play back the loop, and then with your headphones plugged into your mixer or into your computer. In my case, my headphones will be connected to my computer, and I'll be listening through my recording software. You play the loop over and over, and then as you're doing that, you go ahead and manually adjust your microphone to get the best mic placement. How do you know where your speaker is? It takes a flashlight. You shine a flashlight in here, and the speaker will be revealed to you. So here is the very center of the speaker, and then here is the outer rim of the cone, and right now we're pointing toward that spot right there. That's kind of where the thing's pointing at right now, where the mic is pointed at. I usually turn off the lights when I do that. It makes it easier to see through the grill cloth. So anyway, so I have 3 different loops, and these are the 3 different styles I'm going to play. These aren't the actual songs I'm going to play. I actually don't know. I don't have the songs written. I just know I'm going to do some recording, and they're going to be in this sort of style. So I've just recorded these loops. Going back to hum and stuff, get a good, what's it called? Plug. It's not an extension cord. It's get a power conditioner. Get a good power strip, right? So this one is made specifically for musical instruments, and yeah, I'm using a 1-spot daisy chain for some of my pedals because I just don't have enough. I don't have enough isolated power outputs for all of them, so I had to improvise and use a 1-spot for some of them. But for the most part, almost all my pedals are generated by a brick down there. But anyway, back to mic placement. So here is loop number 1. Okay, so that was, Strat, 4th position, just clean sounds, a mix of chords and a little bit of single notes. I made sure to get that, and then I have another loop. Loop number 2 here is a little more aggressive. Okay, that was like earth-shattering right there. That was this pedal, by the way, the Submachine, the MXR Submachine, amazing fuzz octave pedal, amazing. And then I have a third loop, which is, and this was recorded, that particular loop that you just heard was recorded on at the second position. So not the bridge pickup, but bridge and middle pickup. This one is my bridge pickup with the DS1, so it's more of a jangly sort of, I don't know if you call it a lead tone, but it's a sort of a jangly, really kind of shaggy, I don't know how you describe it. I don't know what kind of words to put to it. Just listen to it. And it goes on from there. And the whole point is, you play these loops, one by one, and as you're playing them, you're positioning your microphone. The idea for me today is that I want a microphone position that is going to be best for all three. I don't want to have to keep switching, changing the position of this microphone to get the best sound every time I record, a new tone out of this. Just for the sake of convenience, right? If I'm gonna do some serious recording, like I have songs written and I know the tone of them and everything, and what effects get used when and all that, then I'll go ahead and position the microphone for each song. But in this case, I'm just running a session where I'll be just playing some tunes and seeing what comes out of it, and I'm just going to pick a spot here that is a compromise between that clean tone, that really heavy tone, and the third kind of grungy tone, I guess. And so those are my tips for you on how to avoid the hum. And so avoid the hum by figuring out what exactly is causing hum, right? And so I just showed you a few things that caused hum. I could go all around this room and look for hum creating, things. Sorry if I made you dizzy there. But in this case, I know the room already and I know what the culprits are. So identify your hum targets, stay away from them. Once you've done that, move them as far away from where you'll be recording as possible. Make sure your pedals and your whole setup itself isn't causing hum. And then, once that's done, record loops of you playing in the style that you're going to be playing in. And with your headphones on, play the loop. And as you're playing the loop, start just adjusting the microphone position, to get it just right. And once you hear in the headphones, okay, that's a great position, stop the loop, and now you know what position to put your mic in for recording. So avoid the hum, get the right mic placement. What else can I say? If you got any questions, leave a comment.